Hey guys, I hope that I'm not too close. My name is Roland Al-Barouki if you want to get fancy. I'm the combat physio guy. I do a corny introduction where I shadow box. I'm not going to do that to embarrass Tabby. Occasionally at Derrimut gyms on purpose, just to fit in. You can edit that out if you want. Anyways, guys, so for the last couple of months, we've been doing weekly soft tissue work with Tabby, whether it be to manage an injury or prevent one. We do massage, fire cupping, dry needling. We do spinal and extremity adjustments to maintain her flexibility and to ensure that she's recovering efficiently. We want to make sure that her muscles are receiving adequate blood flow, and not only are we managing her muscular overload, but also her spinal and overall joint stiffness. So we want to make sure everything is moving properly and that she's healing as quickly as possible, because her load's already so high. So a part of optimizing her rotational ability which will transfer oh, the end of the day, what is the end of the day? In order to make sure that she's posing properly, we are doing soft tissue work through her diaphragm and her mid-back and her spine overall. And the diaphragm release work, it's not just soft tissue work, but it's also a form of lymphatic drainage. So that's why you see that not only are we increasing blood flow to the area and the muscles look like they've improved in prominence, but it's also a form of lymphatic drainage. So I don't want to say it makes you leaner, because it doesn't make you leaner.
Yeah,
it makes you know what I mean? I was like,
it makes me
it's gonna make it makes her appear that she's leaner than what she actually is. So
get on the Stairmaster.
You get on the Stairmaster. Look, what I'm saying, guys, is that it's not gonna make her leaner. To get leaner, you gotta drop body fat. It goes with that saying, right? But it's going to give her that leaner appearance. It's going to make her look leaner than what she is, because a lot of, the main reason why we look, a little thicker than we could be looking. If you're looking a bit too thick,
someone's going to get offended here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, there's we retain a lot of water. So if we flush that water out, we can actually then help her look leaner than what she actually already is. So the 1% is what we're working on. So we'll get into it. Niggas killing me. I'm gonna cut that out as well. It's like as soon as the camera comes on, start acting like a clown. Oh. Boys will be boys. Oh. I had so much protein yesterday. Actually, I don't want to go into TMI, man. No. Let's just say it was hot.
What did you have?
I had like 300 grams of salami at lunch because I was hungry.
300 grams of salami. 300 grams of salami. 300 grams of salami.
So guys, the reason why we do cupping gliding to begin with, so there's a certain method to the madness, a certain sequence that we follow by when it comes to manual therapy treatments, and that's that I like to follow cupping gliding or fire cup gliding first, followed by deep tissue massage, trigger point therapy, and then dry needling, and then I chuck the cups on. Then whilst the cups are on a certain body part, that then allows me to move on to the next body part and start working there. So the reason why I like to cup glide first, not only does it get blood flow to the area, but it also helps desensitize the area. So usually people will feel like their back is feeling warm or hot, and it feels almost as though it's numb. That's how I feel. So if something's desensitized, then you can do things that are a little bit more, you can do more intense treatment after that. So you can go deeper with the massage. You can then go into dry needling, and people aren't as sensitive when you do those heavier treatments as per se. I'll go this side while Tabby can face that way. So Tabby's one of those clients that doesn't care about being potentially elbowed in the face whilst doing elbow slides.
I just don't want I don't like my face going in the hole.
Okay.
Fair enough. It ruins my eyelashes.
Yeah. So right now we're doing elbow slides. This is an efficient way to cover more surface area as we massage through the spine. Now, I don't spend too much time doing this, because if you're gonna completely butcher an area, as per se, with massage, then you get to dry needling and cupping. You're just gonna pull up too sore. Now, inflammation is okay. Inflammation is what we want. We want some mild, controlled amount of inflammation in order for us to catalyze or kickstart the healing process. This is the reason why we do this. This is the reason why athletes receive treatment on a regular or semi-regular basis. Because if you get treatment where we're creating a very controlled, targeted amount of trauma, which then creates a mild level of inflammation, which then sets up the healing process. And so the whole purpose of why she does this is to heal faster. We are bolstering the healing process.
Oh.
Yes.
It's pain. Ow.
That's
Oh my god.
So not only are we hitting the traps, we're also getting into the belly of the supraspinatus muscle. It's a key rotator cuff muscle that helps stabilize the shoulder. And because of where it's located, it gets quite jammed and fatigued. And it can actually be responsible for a lot of symptoms, excuse me, a lot of posterior, meaning on the outside, shoulder symptoms, and pain down the front of the shoulder as well. Right, guys, I like to call this rotator cuff needling. Technically, the traps aren't a part of the rotator cuff, they're a scapular stabilizer, but they all work in unison, they work hand in hand. If you want to be fancy, this is the scapula, this is the shoulder, this makes the shoulder girdle or the scapulothoracic complex. So we're going to be needling the traps, upper fibers, lower fibers, supra, infra, posterior delt on both sides. I'm feeling for a trigger point, straight down. Let's see if this twitches. Oh, there we go, right away. So I'm going to go nice and slow because you don't need to be going any faster than this. You see people, there we go, piston this thing, and it's just not necessary to be causing that much trauma. Now, Tabby's tough. This isn't her first rodeo with treatment, so we can pepper the shoulders a little bit more because she does have more resilient tissue than someone who, let's say, doesn't get this type of needling or doesn't get this type of treatment on a regular basis. Plus, her connective tissue type is generally more resilient, whereas people who are a bit more on the hypermobile end of the connective tissue spectrum won't be able to tolerate this.
Maybe tell them why you do fire cupping over normal cupping.
All right. Now, the reason why I do fire cupping over normal cupping, with all due respect to everyone who prefers suction cupping over fire cupping, whether you receive it or administer it, I just think that the fire cups just suction the skin and therefore adhere to the body better. So with cupping, it's proposed, not going to say it does this, it's proposed to do a couple of things. It's proposed to decompress any muscular tension, any tension within the fascia, which then helps expand blood vessels within those targeted areas. Now, if you're getting an increased expansion in blood vessels in the area, what does that then mean for that area? You get more blood flow to that area. If you're getting more blood flow to the area, then not only are you accelerating the rate of healing in that area, but you're also increasing the pliability of the fascia in the muscles that the blood is being delivered to. All right, so we're doing some deep tissue along her lumbar spine. So this is her lumbar paraspinal group. Fancy way to say that I'm working through her erector spinae and along her quadratus lumborum. Yeah, the reason, as I mentioned before, she's obviously quite stiff, so we're moving through this area. Not only are we doing deep tissue, but we're trigger pointing each area, and we're also mobilizing each segment of the lumbar spine as well. This is everyone's favorite part, guys. If you've got enough oil on here, you can plunge these off effortlessly, so please don't come at me with you're gonna cause a skin irritation, because I don't know any of my clients have had a skin irritation from this method. So, plunge. Woo!
Oh, that feels so good. How can you get a skin irritation? I've never heard that.
Oh, look, if there's no oil and you just yank it off,
Oh, yeah.
can pull on the skin, too much friction, and it can cause a reaction.
Oh.
All right, same thing applies here, guys. So we're gonna be doing some cupping gliding in this area. It's quite a sensitive area, highly innervated by plenty of nerves, and it's also quite tight. And So for that reason, it gives us more of a reason to desensitize the area first, promote some blood flow to the area, so that by the time we start doing some deep tissue, it's bearable. So way to test the pressure. All right, perfect pressure. Don't want to like yank on her abs because it's not comfortable. And we're just going to gently yet firmly with enough pressure glide the cup up and down along her rectus abdominis. And we'll do this for a couple of minutes before we then move into massage. You can see that we didn't go too hard around there because Tabby's a bit more on the hypersensitive side today, so I'm not going to completely demolish her with cupping, and it is a very sensitive area. But now we've done enough to desensitize the region. Now we're going to do some massage. Now there's different ways we can do this. We can either use both hands and move our way through, but usually I find that just by using one hand and moving the thumb gently but firmly down the abdominal area, working our way to the hip flexor area as well, is just as fine. And now this is the fun part, is the actual diaphragm release. So we just go just beneath the xiphoid process. I like to go bilateral because she's tough and she can handle it. I get to take a deep breath in and out. We grip under the ribs and push in like this. There we go, not fun. All right, then deep breath in again. Let go a bit, then out. Dig right in there. We move it around a bit because she's tough. All right, deep breath in. Not for the faint of heart, this one. And out. There we go, this left side. You feel broken.
That hurts in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a trigger point right in there. This is within the belly of the diaphragm, obviously inferior to the ribs, rib cage, base of the rib cage. And not everyone can tolerate this. And I'll get my thumbs right in there. Mobilizing the rib cage as well. Open up the ribs because they're going to be stiff too. That concludes our session, guys. Well done. Yeah, Tabby, zimmer right into your face. Anyways, so on the last episode of I'm such
Are you in this?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. That's why I'm standing here. She didn't leave me any room to sit down.
Sit.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Now, without making this about me, so guys, that concludes our session. We spent about 45 minutes to an hour because obviously, you know, there was a bit of maneuvering around with the camera. Got to be like the Steven Spielberg. How do you say his name? Yeah, Steven Spielberg. Yeah, he's the film director.
Okay.
Yeah, as well as a physiotherapist and a comedian, all in one. She's like high maintenance, this lady. So, and we worked on, just to sum up our session, we did deep tissue massage through her spine. We did some trigger point therapy where we released knots through her mid to upper back. We even did some deep tissue through her traps where we focused on not only her traps but her rotator cuff muscle just above her shoulder blade. That is the supraspinatus muscle. Then we did some dry needling after that. We got some nasty twitches, released tension in those areas, chuck some cups on.
I feel like you're not in this.
I'm in because I zoomed out. It was like 0.6. You can check out, I'm in this, trust me. You go look now for me, go check there. Doesn't believe me.
Yeah.
See, I'm in it.
Yeah, you are.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's fair.
Didn't believe me. Anyways, so now, yeah, so as I was saying before I got interrupted, so we did some dry needling, chucked the cups on her upper back, then we did some deep tissue through her lower back, worked through her rectus spinae muscles, her quadratus lumborum. You hear those muscles all the time in the bodybuilding world because they are relevant. They do get quite jacked up. Did some joint mobilizations as well just to increase some mobility in the lower back, release further tension on joint stiffness. Then we did some, get rich me now, he's hungry. Then we did a diaphragm release as well. So we did some cupping gliding around her abs. Again, desensitizes the area, gets some blood to the area so that by the time we do a deep tissue massage and trigger pointing around the diaphragm, she can handle it by that point. Found that her left side was most jacked up. She's more dominant through her left abdominal or trunk area, especially her left gluteal group. So it makes sense that she's working a little bit harder on that side and therefore she's going to be more tight. She's going to be tighter and generally more sensitive on that side, and that's why we prioritize that one on the end. So that concludes our session.
Until next time.
Well done. Good hustle.